I got new pets in my reptile room! Well, 3 of them actually. It's so exciting. Can you guess from my outfit what they are? Can you guess? Or maybe you saw the title of this video, but it's 3 poison dart frogs. Costa Rican green and black poison dart frogs to be exact. One of my favorite things about keeping reptiles is recreating their native environments and making enclosures that look like I took a slice right out of nature and brought it into my house. And that's exactly what I did for my new frog friends. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step on how I went from this to this. My name is Tatiana. You're watching Tatiana's Tiny Zoo. Let's talk about poison dart frogs. So the first thing I needed was a tank. In the beginning of 2020, I got an incredible enclosure custom built for me that was split down the middle. Half was for my blue-tongued skink Eponine, and the other half was what I was planning to put dart frogs in. I followed the regular process of spray foaming, carving, siliconing, and adding eco-earth to make the background and sides of this enclosure. If you want a more detailed description of how I made the background, check out this video where I show you my blue-tongued skink enclosure build from start to finish and I break it down for you. But for now, let's move on. After my background was complete, it was time to add leca balls for my drainage layer. Dart frogs need high humidity, so a deep drainage layer is always recommended to hold as much of the excess water as possible. I like to get my leca from IKEA. I find that their prices are usually much better than any local hardware or plant shops in my area. Once I added a few bags of leca, I cut a sheet of weed barrier fabric to size and put that in there as my substrate barrier. Finally, it was time to add my substrate. This is a custom mix that I make myself using topsoil, repti-chips, sphagnum moss, and play sand. Again, I like to add as much substrate as possible to help with humidity, as well as supporting the plant life I'll be adding in a moment. Now let's get to the best part, planting. The first plant I'm adding is a crispy wave or bird's nest fern. I just love the unique texture of this plant, and the thought of my frogs interacting with it, hiding in it, or climbing on it is really exciting to me. Next, I planted a button fern. This is another plant species that has a fun appearance and loves high humidity environments. I also ended up planting 2 prayer plants, which ended up being a mistake since they both died after a few weeks. Even though they're native to the subtropics, I don't think they liked their leaves being wet all the time. Finally, I added a creeping fig to the back corner. I was hoping this vining plant would grow up the background and add more texture towards the back of this enclosure. Once the planting was done, I added some leaf litter and introduced my cleanup crew, a colony of dwarf white isopods and some springtails. After that, my enclosure was complete. So that footage that you guys just saw was filmed in late 2020, early 2021. As I'm filming today, it is actually August of 2022. That means this tank that I'm standing next to was completely finished for over a year, and it sat empty for that long. And there's a couple of reasons why that is. The first reason is, unfortunately, during the start of the pandemic, I lost my job and I was unemployed for a really long time. I didn't think it was appropriate for me to buy new animals to take care of while I was still unemployed. So that's a big reason why this tank sat empty for so long. Another reason it sat empty for so long was because shortly after I finished this tank and hooked up the misting system and everything, it actually started to leak. And it didn't leak just once, but it leaked 2 times on me. The first time it leaked, I took all of the substrate out of this enclosure, all of the plants that I had beautifully put in there. I removed all of that so that I could reseal the seams of this enclosure and so I can install a plastic tarp to kind of hold that water in. I thought that was going to be the end of my leaking problems, but it wasn't. It actually started to leak again. And after that, actually I can just show you what I did. Let me get you off. Let me get you off of this. So because my enclosure was still leaking, I had to come up with a different solution on how to solve that problem. And what I ended up doing was installing a bulkhead. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right here behind me. And it actually goes up into this enclosure. And it allows the excess water to drip out and into this catch basin. It's just a critter keeper, but it's a little catch cup that holds all of that excess water in it. and it prevents the enclosure from leaking overall. You see, what was happening was there was so much excess water at the bottom of the enclosure that it was actually raising up above the level of that plastic tarp. And once it rose above the level of the tarp, it would just seep through the wood and leak that way. Now, because the excess water can just drain out of the enclosure, I don't have that leaking problem anymore. So why am I telling you guys this? Well, I just want you to be prepared. Because of all of the leaks and troubles that I had with this enclosure, I had to do a lot of work to it. The plants got rearranged. Like I said, some of those plants died and I had to replace them with new ones. So this enclosure today doesn't look a lot like that time-lapse footage that you saw. All right, I don't want to make you guys wait anymore. I've already been waiting like a year and a half for these frogs. So let's jump right into this enclosure so I can show you my new poison dart frogs. Well, that is all I have for you guys today about my new Costa Rican green and black poison dart frogs. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked my themed outfit that I'm wearing for it, consider leaving me a like on this video and letting me know. If you want to see more poison dart frog content in the future, leave me a comment down below so that I can make more content that you guys want to see. And consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps out smaller content creators like myself. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next time. So that footage that you guys just saw was oh, spiders up there. It's so warm in here. I'm wearing a wool hat. Just for this video, just for you, I'm wearing this wool hat. It's fine.